What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 30th episode of the Dragoncast. My name is Brian Daniels. I'm back once again with my podcasting partner in crime, Victor Salazar. Victor, what's good today, man? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Number 30? Really? Damn.
I know, yeah.
You know what? These episodes are flying by. I'm loving it, though. I like to see those numbers come up. Let's see when we're going to get to our 100th episode. Have a special episode for that, you know? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we have to do.
You know what?
Yeah.
Just hanging out in this heat. We're already hitting triple digits. Pretty crazy. But that's not the only thing, you know, that's pretty crazy. We got quite a few news stories out there that's just, you know, kind of off the rails a little bit.
Yeah, we got some news stories to talk about. We're gonna go through some of these articles. Just all this recent stuff. We haven't really done a lot of the recent news yet. We've been kind of talking about topics and stuff here and there, but wanted to go through some recent news because there's just so much stuff to talk about. We can't not talk about it. And yeah, I get it. You got triple digits there, man. That's insane, man. For the weather.
Yeah, man. It's
been hot here too.
July.
I don't think it's been 100 degrees here yet.
Oh, we've hit 100, man. We've been at 103, I think, not too long ago. It's insane. You know, I live in the high desert, so
yeah.
So it gets into the 90s pretty regularly once, you know, late spring, early summer hits. But we started getting that 103, 104, and I was like, man, I'm burning up and melting.
Oh my God.
I have to bear with it for the next couple of weeks, months, you know.
That sucks. Yeah, the weather. I mean, it's July. It's July. It's not. It's gonna get hotter before it gets cooler. Obviously, unless you're one of those people that live in the north and you don't have to worry so much about the heat. But
I got 100 degrees today, so it's another triple-digit scorcher. So
that sounds awful. Well, thankfully this isn't the Weather Channel. This is we're not gonna
Let's move on from that.
We're gonna get right past that and go into the topics of discussion today. Most of these are gonna touch on video game either personalities or some news. There's a lot of controversial stuff here today. Is kind of the theme of this episode because there's just been so much. This year has been controversial. Period. Right? We're only halfway through, guys. We're only halfway through 2020.
Yeah.
We still got.
It's not controversial.
Left of this.
It's not controversial. It's conspiracy theories. Everywhere. As to why something happened or what's going on with this, and it's just been insane.
It has been crazy.
But that just continues, Good. So far, here we are.
It has been a very this year has just been super, super crazy. So the first topic we're going to talk about today is is Evo, Victor. Evo, for those who don't know, is also known as the Evolution Championship Series. Started in 1996. It's a very old. It's the oldest and the most popular fighting game championship series in the world of video games, period. I mean, if you go to Evo and you win at Evo, that's a big deal, all right?
Yeah, you're instantly somebody.
You're definitely somebody. And what's great about Evo is it's on Twitch every year. You can watch it live. There's different mostly it's known for like Street Fighter and I think Tekken, but there's also other games like Super Smash Brothers is in there and a whole bunch of different other fighting games, some of them that are very lesser well-known games. Anyway, as much as I wish we were talking about, it's going to be coming up here soon. So for those who don't know, it actually ended up getting canceled or suspended due to the coronavirus. Much like everything else, it's taken over all the fun stuff to do. But last Thursday, this past Thursday, found out that the co-founder and the CEO of Evo has been placed on an administrative leave due to allegations of past sexual misconduct. Apparently, a former veteran competitor named Mikey Crack Prawn Pham. Basically accused he's also the CEO of this person. Yeah, I said that. Is Joey Solar. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that name. Of basically repeatedly preying on teenage boys. And he did this at a place called the Southern Hills Golf Land. It was a mini golf course, basically, there in Southern California. And from the Kotaku article that I'm reading, it looks like he was basically bribing teenagers using arcade tokens to get them to strip down into their underwear and then jumping into
crazy.
The water hazards at the golf course with him. And then apparently they were talking about he was some of the conversations I can't say on here because, this is going to be on YouTube and we're not that kind of a show. But basically some of the discussion had to do with a particular part of the body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you guys can figure that out. And the different sizes.
Yeah, it's just insane, man.
And basically he made a bet that he's like, well, I bet you $20 you're not right. And so he asked Mikey to show him his genitals, and he did. And Mikey was 17 at the time, and Joey would have been either 23 or 24. That's just disgusting. That
it is, man. And then, what? Have you seen his apology he put out there?
Yeah, he tweeted.
Sorry, never meant to hurt anybody and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah, so right now we're in the midst of cancel culture. People getting, there's some people who are getting their past dragged out. And some of the things they're getting their past dragged out for are that they've already apologized for before. We're talking Jenna Marbles. She did blackface probably 7-8 years ago. She pretended to be Nicki Minaj in a video, and she has already apologized for that several times. And then she decided to quit YouTube last week. Said she was taking a break or she was going to quit because people kept just dragging her name through the mud, and she apologized. But this is a whole different thing, Victor. This is far beyond blackface. This is preying on teenage boys when you're an adult. That's just disgusting, man. There should always be a zero tolerance policy for any form of something like that. And it looked like because of these allegations, several high profile members of the Evo community, of the fighting game community, said that they are no longer going to be participating in Evo.
Capcom is a big one. Capcom is a big one.
And it says Evo is going to conduct a third-party investigation. Now, granted, I'll say this. Granted, the guy came out and basically apologized and basically admitted to it, which you don't really have happen, right? You don't really have that happen. You don't have them admitting it. We'll take Kevin Spacey, for instance, right? He's been accused of so much shit. And he didn't come out and say, I'm sorry for what I did, 20, 30 years ago. He's denying it, right? But, I mean, I'm not going to give this guy really much credit except for the fact that he did come out and say he did it. I'm surprised by that. But everything else through this guy. I never meant to hurt anyone. I was young and reckless. Bro, you were 23 or 24 years old. I'm a 17-year-old. There's no damn excuse for that. Yeah. I don't care. No, young and reckless. He knew what he was doing. I don't care. When you're 24 years old, you're old enough to know better. So yeah,
young and reckless is that adolescent age. Early teens, mid-teens. That's when you're young and reckless and you learn from life. But once you're 24, 23, dude, you've been an adult for a while now. Young and reckless is not gonna fly.
Yeah, I mean, this kid was 7 years younger than him. I mean, he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. There's just no doubt about it.
Like you had made mention, these organizations are pulling out of the event because, they're not going to stand for that kind of shit, Capcom's gone, NetherRealm is out, Bandai.
Yeah,
I mean, these are big name guys in the fighting community, and they're saying, nope, we're out of here. So who knows how Evo can even...
Well, not only are the video game companies leaving, Victor, there's also participants too, like several top tier players who actually compete in these tournaments are not going to come either. And quite honestly, I don't blame them.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah,
because the integrity of this extremely popular championship, if you will, has been broken now because of what this guy did. And obviously, Evo, this was as of the 2nd, I'm seeing of the updates on Kotaku here. They have officially removed Joey Solara as CEO. I mean, good. That's, obvious. You can't have him working there. But this is just disgusting to read this, that this had happened.
What's been going on?
And
it's just crazy.
And when you're young, even when you're 17, when you're at the brink of being 18, and a lot of people consider 18 being an adult, but you know what? Let's be real here. You're still a young adult, right? You're still you don't just turn 18 and all your childish ways are gone, or your innocence is gone at that point. That's not how this works, because it says in this article that Mikey didn't realize until years later that he had been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
He says he recognized how stupid he was for the situation, not realizing it, even though he recognizes it's not his own fault. So at least he's not one of those victims that blames themselves for what happened, because you shouldn't blame yourself for that, right? That's, if you're listening to this and you've been through the similar situation, this is not your fault.
Not your fault.
You were young and you got taken advantage of. It's not your fault.
Yeah,
at all.
And that's the thing to keep in mind, is that you are a victim. You were taken advantage of.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of strength to come out and to say, hey, you know what? Someone did something to me that was not right. And you know what? It might take a couple of years for people to realize that they were taken advantage of.
What ends up happening...
That's how... the way I see it is, some of these perpetrators, man, they're so good at what they do that you don't even realize you're being taken advantage of until down the line,
They're so slick.
And it sounds to me that this is what's going down with Joey here, where he was just, making it a game maybe, or he's making it seem like, oh, we're just, goofing off or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But no, man, that's not right. That's still taking advantage of someone else.
Well, and a lot of younger people when they're in that 15, 16, 17, and when they're hanging out with another person, especially if they're acting like they're their best friend, they don't see that age difference. They just think they're hanging out with a person, right? I remember when I was 18, 19, I still had some friends that were, and usually you'll have some friends that are a couple years younger than you, because you might have been in school together, but then you're graduating 2 years ahead of them, so they're still your friend, right? But they don't. Right, when you're friends with people like that, they don't see that age. The age isn't there. So I would imagine, I can't speak for what happened to this young man, because that's just messed up. But maybe when he was 17, he didn't see this guy as older than him, because they were such good friends that and he trusted him too. Of course, that there's that trust factor. That he didn't see that age difference, and he probably just considered this Joey guy as one of the guys, right? Let's go, they would hang out in the locker room and stuff, right? But now he's like, oh shit, that guy was 7 years older than me. He's an adult. He should not be doing that stuff with the 17. So yeah, but good on Evo for getting rid of this guy, and I hope he never has anything to do with the gaming industry again in any way, shape, or form, because
no, yeah,
there's no coming back from that.
And for the companies too, man, to say, you know what, we're not going to support this guy.
Yeah,
we're going to support the competition if things like this continue to go down.
And
I'm curious. I'm curious to see how they're going to move from this. I don't know if removing Joey will be enough to save the Evo name, or maybe it's just a matter of, hey, you know what, Joey acted on his own accord. Evo had nothing to do with that. But, I don't know. It's going to be tough to have faith in the Evo name for the next, for the foreseeable future.
They're gonna
this
have
stuff really drags down your name, man. This is not good.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do background checks of everybody that works at Evo, because once again, I used to love fighting games. There was a time in my life where Victor, I'm sure you and I grew up around the same, we had Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Those were our big, fighting games, right, back in the day. And granted, I played in some little mini tournaments locally back in Indy and stuff when I was younger in the arcade fighting industry deal. But I've watched some of Evo, and there are a lot of kids there, teenagers there. And so now the integrity has been broken in the sense of, okay, this is the CEO doing this.
Yeah.
What is going on? Are there any other employees that might be trying to take advantage and prey on teenage boys, considering Evo is the biggest fighting game championship that in dare I say the world, but definitely in North America. How are there anybody else working in Evo that might be trying to take advantage of these teenagers that are all in one place? I mean, that's a predator's dream. Honestly, as much as I hate, it sickens me to say that. That's a predator's dream. All these teenage boys in one place, the biggest fighting. I mean, think about that. I'm just being real. That's a disgusting way to think.
No,
but
yeah,
it's
you know
truth.
what? When you have someone with that kind of mindset, and it's just like you said, man. It's easy pickings for someone like that.
Yeah.
And I want to have, my competing friends here safe. And how are you going to assure their safety, man? What are you going to do to make sure that these guys are going to have a good competition and not have to worry about someone preying on them? It's going to take some work to fix that.
They're going to have to do some internal investigation on not just this Joey guy, but then they're going to need to essentially vet all of their current staff. Because like you said, how can they really trust Evo at this point when you've got the top, one of the, if not the top guy who did it? Who else is doing it? How many people did he know that was doing it? He could have had his friends that were doing it, hired them. I mean, yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on.
It's insane, man. It's an ugly story. And,
it is.
But it's in the news. It's what's going down.
We got to talk about it.
We want you guys to be aware of it and be safe. Be careful, guys.
Yeah.
But it's insane.
So the next thing we're going to topic is this one hits home for me. This past Thursday, former top World of Warcraft player and longtime Twitch streamer Byron Reckful Bernstein committed suicide. And when I found out, it actually brought me to tears, because I've been a big fan of Reckful. He's been streaming on Twitch for a long time, man, a long time. And sad part is, if you don't know anything about Byron, he's always had mental health issues like severe depression. Yeah.
So just take a minute, guys, just to chat it up. And be like, you know what? I'll give you a call back, or just let me just hear you out for a few minutes. Yeah. And I swear I will call you back. Just I got to take care of this, and then I can be more attentive to you.
Please take
something
time
like
for
that
those.
Works.
If you know those people in your life, take just a little time for them. Especially if they reach out to you. If they reach out to you, don't ignore that person. Like just we got all this time for things, and you could be just what they need that day, right? But I will say that Byron was I saw his struggles. That's one reason why I could relate to him. That's why I liked him so much. It sounds bad, but I didn't like him just because he had mental health illness. He was a really, really good guy, genuinely good guy. And it was easy to relate to him because of his mental health issues. And he actually was at the point where he wanted to try to help other people with his trauma, and he wanted people to see him as I guess in a way of which I'm just because I have mental health, I am successful. Because a lot of people feel like they can't be successful because of their depression. So he was a very successful streamer, and I do want to say that I do want to give that National Suicide Prevention Hotline number on here, but I will say that this number is intended to be used when you're at a point of crisis where you need someone. If you really feel like at that point, this number is not intended to just be a cure-all and thrown at people. It's not excuse people to not be a part of your life. So that number is 24 hours a day, 200-273-8255, and that's people that are in North America. But if you call that number, I'm sure they could give you like a number different. That's what I need. I always need that. I really need to see something like that. I do that.
There's just so many things there that you just don't know, and it makes me wonder if he really was at a point where he just couldn't reach out to anybody. It's sad, especially when you're well known and
Yeah.
There should have been.
Well, I mean, the thing is, too, is a lot of people think they know his life or they know a person's life, and I never really understood. That was one thing that always kind of boggled my mind was people get so into these celebrities. Like, why do people get so into these celebrities and their life and stuff? Like, I don't care how many wives Tom Cruise has had, but I've always found that stuff like I don't care, like it's whatever, right? But people like him, he wasn't very flashy about his stuff, and he was very open about his life. And that was something I can relate to because I've been very open about my mental health issues. But, don't get me wrong. Just because you think you know my whole life based off what I've let you in on doesn't mean you do. So, like you said, who knows what else was going on in his life that we didn't know about.
Yeah.
He was very open about his issues, but that doesn't mean he was 100%. You know what I mean? I don't,
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of things we didn't know about. So the next thing we'll do this one, then we'll save the other Twitch thing. We talked about one Twitch thing. We'll save the other Twitch thing after this. So Victor, we have 2 new consoles coming out this fall.
What? Are you kidding me?
I know. we have the That's it. That's the topic. No.
That's the news. That's it. That's brand new information.
No one never knew this, but we have 2 consoles coming out this year. We got the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. We now know what they both look like. We don't care about that, but we know we've seen them. We know what to expect when we open those boxes up and get them this fall if we get them. But for the longest time, Victor, probably for a good 10 years, video games have always been $59.99.
Yeah.
Right? $60 has become the pretty standard price on video games. AAA video games anyway. And a lot of the indie games usually run between $29.99 and less. But for the most part, AAA titles, like your Gears of War, your Halo, your God of War, Uncharted, those are always been $59.90, $95.
$95.99. It was somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, Victor, that might change this generation because NBA or 2K Games has this title. You might have heard of it. It's called NBA 2K. It's a little known title that comes out every year, and soon they're going to be releasing NBA 2K21. And I love these covers because it's got Kobe Bryant on the front.
They're amazing.
I would probably buy the physical edition of that just because I'm a big Kobe fan. At the 8 and the 24, that's kind of cool.
Just to have that cover. But anyways,
so we got this coming out this year. As always, every year there's a new sports title, and they claim that they added all these features like. They sweat better now this generation. Look at all that sweat. It looks even more realistic than it did 7 years ago, right? Because that's what 2K does is when they go into a new. I've noticed this when they go into a new generation. It's always about how they sweat. Oh, let's zoom in because they did it with Zion Williamson.
The pores now.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because they did this teaser trailer during the PlayStation 5 reveal, and it was Zion Williamson, and he was dunking the ball, and they zoomed like all the way in. Like, oh, look, he can sweat 10 times more now than he did 7 years ago. It's stupid. It's just stupid shit like that, man. So anyway, the big thing with this, though, is they didn't make a big deal of it, but they kind of slipped it in there, is that the next-gen standard edition, because they got like 40 editions of these games now, right? But that's just how it is. Like, the super ultra duper amazing, $400.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah. That's just what they do. That's just what they do.
So the standard edition of the next gen version of NBA 2K21 has a suggested retail price of $69.99. They just kind of put it in there, didn't make a big deal of it. They just was like, we're just gonna put it in there, and which is obviously a $10 jump from the regular price we're used to of $59.99. Well, a lot of people, myself included, are not happy about this. I'll tell you why. From 2K especially. Okay, I'll tell you why from 2K. Now, honestly, if this was from, like, we'll say, I don't know, if this was for Halo, or if this was for maybe God of War, I probably wouldn't care so much. But this is from 2K, and this is NBA 2K, and they are very well known for their ludicrous amount of microtransactions in their games. They have VC, and you have to pay money to buy VC, to buy packs. I'm not going to lie, I don't really like that, but I'm guilty of it. And the thing is that now part of me, it's a double-edged sword, because I get that, with the My Team and stuff in NBA 2K, it's like collecting cards, and you use the cards to play the players on your team and stuff, right? That's understandable. It's kind of like, but in the latest iteration, NBA 2K20, they had they had a slot machine, they had a wheel you had to spin. I mean, it was like gambling, right? And you've got kids playing these games, and you're trying to introduce them to gambling and stuff. It's kind of like, okay, like that's kind of shouldn't be allowing like children to do that, but all right. So this is a company very well known.
Not only that, I think you touched it on it, but I'm going to elaborate just a little bit more.
Yeah, go for it.
Look at the content. Look at the content, man. Last year's edition had a slot machine in it.
Yeah.
Is that really enhancing your gameplay? Is that really making a better game here? You know what I mean? It's not enhancing the game. It's not making a better game. So there's nothing there that's gonna be like, oh man, I can't wait for next year's edition. Next year we're gonna get a roulette table. Nah, man, come on.
We're gonna have blackjack.
It's gonna have blackjack. So you get new cards. No. What I'm trying to say here, though, the gist of it is, you jump the price, the quality of the game is not jumping with it. You're getting a very, at least in my opinion, it's kind of stagnant. It's kind of repeated, and you're getting very minimal enhancements year after year. Yeah. And it doesn't warrant the extra $10. And this is why I think, like, I agree with you. If it was another franchise where you get a different experience, or it jumps from the previous version of the game, then you're like, all right, I see what you did here. You gave me a new game that's completely, maybe not completely different, but we got some enhancements. I can see where this is now. It's going in a different direction, or it's tweaking some things. But when you got an NBA 2K game, I don't see many tweaks. I don't see many improvements. The majority of the gameplay itself kind of has stayed the same.
Yeah, it really has.
The past couple of years. You know what I mean? And I just don't think you can jump the price on something like that.
Yeah, that's not all, Victor. There's more. This gets even more ridiculous.
There's more?
This gets even more ridiculous. So what a lot of the games that are coming out, I like to call it that transitional period between what would now be considered last gen into the new current gen. You got games like Call of Duty that usually come out around that time, or Battlefield. There's a lot of transitional games that are going to come out on what was the old gen and now is the new. So what they're doing is Xbox is doing this thing called Smart Delivery. So if you buy it on the Xbox One, for instance, it'll automatically upgrade to the Series X for free. There's no additional price. You don't have to pay more. You buy it on old gen, and then it transfers over to new gen, which I like that. That's kind of how it should be. I don't feel like you should have to buy a game twice, because like maybe I don't want to wait until November or whatever when this console comes out. I want to play it now, but I want that security of knowing that if I buy this now while we're in the midst of a transitional console generation period, I can take this same game and get it upgraded. Because I know Microsoft did this before with like the 360. They had like, I think it was Black Ops 2, I think was the game. And if you bought Black Ops 2, you automatically got the upgrade to the Xbox One version for free. So, and I know Sony is kind of doing this. They're somewhat doing the same thing, semi-doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's an option that's out there that I know we've been fumbling around with it, but it's a great idea. And I think it's something that would keep a lot of gamers happy.
But Victor, there's more. 2K is not doing that. 2K is not doing that. Of course they're not doing that. Of course they're not. Why would they do that? Why would they do anything to not make more money, Victor? Come on. Right? So what have they decided to do? They have decided to present with you, and they're using – and now that I think about it, it's kind of a shitty thing to do because they've got this thing called the Mamba edition. You know, where Victor, those covers look beautiful.
Are amazing.
You got one with Kobe doing a dunk, and he's wearing the number 8, and you got like retired Kobe with the 24 and the bald head, and you know all that. So you got the two different covers, and it's $99. Okay, and they've always been the best edition of 2K has always been like $100. You get all this VC, all these packs for my team, all this good stuff. But this year, if you pay $99, you get the current gen version and you get the next gen version. And guess what, Victor? That's the only way you get to do it. That is how they're going to make you transition over into next gen. You have to pay $100, and they're enticing people by using Kobe Bryant because he died. He passed. It happened.
I was thinking the same thing.
So it's kind of like, man, are you guys really using like Kobe Bryant to sell?
Yeah.
And honestly, let's be real here too. I always try to see two sides of the coin. We all expected there to be a Kobe cover anyway. To honor his death, and I get that. But it kind of seems like the way they're using his cover to try to get people and entice people to, man, I can't get the standard edition, and if I pay for both, I have to pay for both games twice and spend probably $140 because now we're in $70 territory here with this game. Oh, but if I pay $100. I get both games, and I'm saving some money. But you shouldn't have to do that because Xbox is doing smart delivery. You buy the game once, you get to play it on both consoles. But here, it's kind of like they're using, in a way, Kobe to, like, entice people. Oh, we got this really cool, like, cover. How can we take advantage? Because that's what they do. 2K takes advantage of their players. That's what they do.
That's right.
They're almost as bad as EA. In the sense of that.
I was looking at it, since I knew we were going to talk about this, and I was checking out this Kobe edition. Mm-hmm. And you know what? And they call it the 2K21 Mamba Forever edition,
Yeah.
And, the name alone, I mean, just looking at it at a fan standpoint, I'm a huge Kobe fan. I love Kobe.
Oh, man, me too. I'm a huge Kobe fan.
It looks amazing. It's like, oh, man, I want to get that just for the cover.
Yeah.
But looking at it from the consumer side, the gaming side, it's definitely using his image to get you to get both versions of the game as opposed to doing what your competitors are doing, which is, hey, guys, I know the console's not out yet, but if you buy my game, you'll get your new copy once it's available. Yeah. That's how it should be done, especially just for this transitional period, because it's gonna – I don't like that. I don't like them using Kobe's image this way. It's really getting under my skin. But don't get me wrong, that image is so amazing. It's like, man, I should just get that just because I want it. I don't even play the game. It's just one of those deals where it will tug at you, man. It will pull you in because it's Kobe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because on the standard edition of 2K21, you get Zion Williamson on the cover. And which I'm going to be real with you, I think it's a little too early for Zion to be on the cover of any video game because he literally just started his rookie year was last year, right? Or this year. That's still not.
It's still this year. He's still not completed yet.
Yeah, right. So, just them using Kobe, like and they've had Kobe on their covers before in the past when he was alive and stuff like that. I mean, he's been on the cover of more 2K games than any other athlete has been on 2K, NBA 2K. And I get it. He's an icon. It'd be like having Jordan on the cover. You know, he's an icon. He's one of the greatest basketball players ever, in my opinion, right up there with Jordan. But to me, it just seems like you said, you hit it right out of the park, man. It kind of makes me a little disgusted that they're using this guy, this legend, and trying to bank off of the tragedy that surrounded him and his daughter, to try to get people to spend more money and use him as a means to get people to go to next gen. So man,
you know what? I would have had no problem whatsoever if they just came up with a Mamba edition, just a Mamba edition. I understand, 2K21, there's a Zion Williamson cover. But if you want, we have a special edition that's just Kobe. It's just a game, but special cover. You want to put $10 on that or whatever, just because it's a limited edition. Fine. I get that. That's a collector's item. That's something I would probably dish out a little more for. But when you couple that with, if you want to get this gen and next gen, but we're also going to slap Kobe's image on it, now it's more like it feels like a cash grab. Now it feels like, dude, you're going to use his image just to pull people in for this. Yeah. And I'm not too good with that. I don't like that.
That doesn't make me feel good.
They should have just had a Mamba edition. Hey, you want to commemorate Kobe? That's cool. That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But do it where it's Kobe. Like, hey, this is the Kobe edition. It's a solid gold cover or whatever. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
You can do something like that. But don't group it in like this. Yeah. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think it'd been kind of cool if they did like a limited edition, like they only made so many.
Yeah, right?
That would have made
this
sense
is number
too. Not just
something like that would have been amazing.
Like do 2,000 of them, and that's it. And then
something like that, yeah.
Whoever gets it gets one. I'd be okay with that. But they're blatantly using it for that purpose, and that's just I don't like that at all. So
you know what? The only way this will make it okay is if I hear down the line that maybe the proceeds on all these forever edition goes over to a foundation that Kobe had or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
That'd be fine. I'd be fine with that.
But I'd be good with that. Yeah, I'd be good with that. But if that doesn't happen, it's all going to 2K pocket. Nah, I'm not too happy about that.
Yeah, and as far as games potentially, it looks like 2K so far. That's the only next gen game that has a price on it. A lot of games have been confirmed, but that's the only one so far that has a confirmed price of $69.99. Now, my whole thoughts on if that ends up being the standard price. Now, for games like this, it makes me feel like they're just trying to, obviously, they want to make money because they're greedy. Okay. But I will say that I have also kind of felt for a long time that games are not going to end up being $60 forever, because of course it costs more money to develop better graphics and to make better consoles and everything else, and the manpower, and we're having all these different developers having to crunch for time to get games finished. Like that happened with The Last of Us 2. That happened with Red Dead Redemption 2. There's so many games where they had to crunch for time, and I've been waiting for that moment to happen where where $60 is not going to be the standard price for video games anymore. And I'm honestly shocked, Victor, that that has been a price that stood for over 10 years now. This price has been around since the Xbox 360 started up. I mean,
it's like 02, 04, somewhere around there.
So, and of course, as there's better graphics and there's more manpower and the cost to make these consoles and things like that and the games, are getting a bit bigger in production value. I mean, these video games are starting to be the production value of these video games are almost like the production of a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
You know, you got games like GTA 5 and, you know, with all the production value, Red Dead Redemption 2, etc. I mean, I kind of have always felt like these games have been worth more than $60. So to me, if they raise it up by $10, I wouldn't feel so bad about that. I'd be like, okay, I get it. You know, it's you know, you're going to get more because you have to understand there's these games are going to be even prettier now in 4K and eventually end up being in 8K. So it's going to cost more money to develop. So, I mean, would I be okay with it being raised only by $10? I mean, that's like a meal at McDonald's or whatever, man. That's fine. Like that's okay. But when you have a company that starts it off like 2K, it doesn't look so good.
Yeah, that's right.
Then it's
I just think that
you know, that's a bad company to start off doing game $69.99.
You want to have, I guess the best way to describe this is you have your frontline games, man. You got those top-notch titles. You have your heavy-duty guys that draw in, you know, millions of gamers into their games. And I get it. The 2K games are pretty popular, you know. Madden's popular. All that stuff is good stuff. The sporting games are great. I get it. There's competition there.
Yeah.
But when you have something like 2K that, like I said, you know, before, this NBA 2K, the gameplay doesn't warrant it, man. It's the same game year after year after year after year. So it doesn't look good. Doesn't feel right. It's like, dude, putting $10 for a 2K game, like, I don't know, man, you know? But if it was Gears of War, you get Gears of War 6 coming out, Silent Hills coming out, or whatever it is, and they put that at $69.99, you wouldn't flinch an eye. You would be like, oh, yeah, man, it's going to give me an experience. It will be good. Yeah. I get it. Next gen, I get it. It's going to be $10 more. Yeah. But when it's 2K, it's a little different, you know? And I don't know if this is going to create a divide amongst consumers because you got the wrong party leading the $69.99 charge, you know?
I mean, I will say that raising the price to if we have a new standard of games being $70, I will say that it's going to cause gamers to be even more critical of games.
Yes.
By like more. When you raise the price of something, it raises everything else up. It's going to raise the criticalness of the games. It's going to raise the scrutiny of the games and the ethical decisions that companies make, like EA and 2K. You know, people are now going to be even more crucial of the games they buy, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, they'll be more selective if it comes down to it, too.
Because if I know I have to pay $10 more, I'm going to be a little bit, like you said, more selective, you know?
And I think you got it right on the head. You said standard. That's exactly what this is. If you're going to raise my game to $70, then guess what? My standard for your game is also going to go up just a little bit.
Expectations.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2K.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah.
Knowing what I'm going to expect out of a 2K game, it's going to be the same run-of-the-mill, no advanced game tactics or anything like that, then it's like, I don't think it's going to warrant it, you know?
I've always felt, you know what, here's my theory. I've always felt that sports games should be like $49.99.
Yeah.
Because it's you're essentially paying for, like you said, more of the same. Sure, there's a few gameplay tweaks and you might have better dunk animations or better ball handling animations, whatever. You might get a little bit better My Career mode and all that. But if they know they're making their money, I would be okay with the whole microtransactions if the initial price of entry was lower.
Was low, yeah. And I had the same conversation too with a buddy of mine as well. I was like, man, you know what? They have these 2K games coming out every year. That game should be $29.99.
Yeah.
And then every year, oh, dude, we have your updated stats. You know, $20 to get the latest. Yeah. You know, your latest numbers updated.
Yeah.
Or you know what? We came up with a new whatever. It'll be if you want to add the microtransactions to these things. Oh, let's add $5 for the latest animated for whatever, and then offer a $60, $70 game once you evolve the whole thing. Like, okay, you know what? That was an old one, but now we're adding all kinds of new things to the game that it's a completely different game now from the one you had. So you'll need your new version now. Now you got to go buy this. Something like that, man. But you can't expect people to shell out $70 for the same game year after year after year.
Yeah, I mean, I've always felt the sports games should just be like $30 maybe, or or something like that, because unless you're doing something like worth $60, then it shouldn't be $60. And honestly, look, here's how I look at it from a business standpoint, because I feel like a lot of gamers forget that these companies are still a business, and yeah, they have to make money, although their ethical means of doing so are pretty greedy. But if it was me, like, look, here, this is why I really hope that 2K gets the NFL franchise back at some point. Because here's what I would do. If I was able to get the rights to NFL, I would make my game $30 and then make all my microtransactions be my bread and butter. Because let's face it, that's probably where they make their most money anyway. And if I make my game half the price, guess what that means? It gets in more people's hands.
Yeah,
more people
you start getting more of these transactions.
Are gonna buy my game for $30 less, and you know what that means? Oh man, I have $30 to spend on microtransactions. I got $30 to spend on VC. I got $30 to spend on my team and get some cards and get some good players and stuff.
Get a good team going, yeah.
So I think, and honestly, I'm not a huge fan of microtransactions. I don't think we need them in every game. Like they flood the market. There's just some games out there that just make no sense at all that have them. Like I know Assassin's Creed has started. Right, yeah. Like Assassin's Creed started having them in I think Origins a couple of years back, and I was like, "What? Okay, $10 for a different color horse? Are you kidding me right now? That's stupid."
Yeah,
but it's those kind of I don't like those. Those are dumb. But like when we're talking like, okay, maybe like trading cards. Because that's what we grew up with, trading cards like Topps and all that. I bought the NBA trading cards and the baseball cards all the time. It's the same thing, except you're just buying them and you're using them to make a team with. I thought that was a great idea. But when you're paying
digital version of a trading card, it's good
stuff. When you're paying $60 for it and then even more money for that experience, I think that's too much. That's just too much, man.
Yeah.
I
agree. I think it should be about $30. And you know what? We can't control ourselves, man. Once you start buying a couple of packs of those cards, let's just say you get a couple cards, you probably get a couple more. And then you probably get a couple more. Before you know it, you've already gone over that $30 mark that you probably allowed yourself.
Oh yeah.
But that's where they're gonna make their money, when they do that. Because the moment you put in $60, $70, personally, I'd be like, I already put $70. I don't want to do another $5 or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't want
to. Man.
But if it was $20, $30, $5 is nothing. I paid $30 for the game. $5 is nothing. Whatever. And then it adds up, man. It'll get you, but that's a smart way of doing it, though. I think that's what it should be going forward. It's not gonna happen. But I think that would be the smarter way to do it.
So for our final topic of discussion today, we're going to talk about another Twitch streamer who this has been now over a week ago, was banned from Twitch. We're talking about Dr. Disrespect. Also, his real name is Guy Beam. He got banned for no reason. Well, I can't say that.
Yeah.
He got banned for a reason. No one still knows.
Just don't know what it is.
No one still knows. It's been over a week. He got banned on the 26th. So a week from yesterday. Or no, wait. A week from this past Friday. He got banned from Twitch. It'll be 2 weeks this Friday. And no one has come forth and said why. And now, I don't know how much you know about Dr. Disrespect. I always liked his character. He was a parody of like a championship player, and he has a mullet and a mustache. He's a funny guy. He's really funny. He's a streamer.
Character's a great way to describe him.
And so he did have he's had some controversial things happen. Back in December of 2017, he came out on his stream and admitted that he cheated on his wife. He went out of character. It was really weird. And admitted to cheating on his wife. Now he needed to take some time away from streaming to kind of reconcile things with his wife. And I applaud him for that. That's a big thing for anybody to do, especially in front of all of your people. He could have just made up some BS reason and not told us, but he didn't. He was honest about it. Him and his wife are great now, as far as I know. I mean, well, she stood up for him for this recent ban. She actually posted something on Twitter not long ago saying that that she's on his side and they're still trying to figure this out. But the one thing he did that was really not a good thing to do was, I think he was at like TwitchCon and he streamed himself in the bathroom. Like he took his camera. He has a cameraman that follows him around when he goes to these events, because Dr. Disrespect is a really, really amazing battle royale player. He plays a lot of like PUBG and Apex Legends and those kind of games, And his cameraman followed him into the bathroom. Now he claims he didn't know it. I don't know about that, but he streamed him going into the bathroom. Now Dr. Disrespect, aka Guy Beam, he actually got banned, I think, for like 2 weeks for that incident.
I remember that.
And that's pretty much been it since. He hasn't really had anything happen. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on about what's been going on. One of which I think might really be the most accurate one. So we haven't talked about this, but Mixer is no longer going to be a thing as of, I think, in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
And they got so many big names from Twitch. Like they got Shroud, they got Ninja. They signed them to deals. And so now that Microsoft is kind of shutting the doors on Mixer, they're going over towards Facebook Gaming, which I think is kind of funny. Like Facebook Gaming, no, like I would not do that. Like no. But anyway, and nobody knows what Ninja's gonna do, what Shroud's gonna do. I think Shroud is coming back to Twitch, but no one knows what Ninja's gonna do, because Ninja kind of severed his ties with Twitch.
Yeah.
But he'll probably go to YouTube. I could see him probably going to YouTube and streaming off there. But anyway, according to a rumor, this is by a guy named Rod Slasher Bristol. He's a industry insider and a journalist. He's stating that the possibility is that Dr. Disrespect, some of these guys have contracts with Twitch, where Twitch basically like pays them millions of dollars to exclusively stay on the brand and not go anywhere else. And because guys like Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, Shroud, etc., they make Twitch all kinds of money. Like we're talking lots of money with subscribers and stuff. So apparently what happened was before Mixer even announced that they were going to shut their doors, they paid Dr. Disrespect, they redid his contract, and they paid him like $25 million to stay on Twitch. An estimated $25 million. To exclusively stay on Twitch. Because after Ninja and Shroud left, Dr. Disrespect ended up becoming the face of Twitch. They didn't have anybody, any big streamers, high-profile streamers like that. So rumor has it that now that Mixer is out of basically going under and shutting their doors, Twitch is like, wait a minute. We just gave him $25 million for nothing now. So rumor has it that they are somehow, the reason why they banned Dr. Disrespect is so that they can get out of the contract with him and not have to pay him this $25 million, the guaranteed $25 million anymore. So now, if that's the case, that could be a lawsuit because, depending on what the reason is that they banned him for, a lot of people are saying that they're going to try to ban him for the infidelity with his wife, which I'm like, what's that got to do with T in China?
With Twitch,
he cheated on his wife. Like, dude, how is that a TOS violation? That's some personal shit. Like,
yeah, and it's crazy because this ban is rumored to be permanent.
Yeah, it's rumored to be a permanent ban. Yeah.
And I'm looking at this article on Forbes. Believe it or not, they're talking about this. And
Forbes, yeah.
they're saying that there could possibly be some criminal charges here, against the doc here, and ESPN's looking into it. ESPN is looking into it. Let that sink in for a second, okay? And ESPN has not found any warrants, any arrests, or any kind of charges in LA or San Diego counties. Yeah. So it feels like this is a something here, man. Something went down. Something is going down here. Dr. Disrespect either did or didn't do something. The fact that we know little to nothing is also super weird. We live in an age of technology, and people are always leaking something, even if it's misinformation.
Well, let this sink in for a minute.
This has nothing.
3 days after his suspension or his ban from Twitch, Dr. Disrespect posted on Twitter that he still didn't know why he got banned. I think that's a load of shit. Yeah. I think he's just saying that to cover his ass. I mean, if there's criminal charge, I can't imagine what he did. But what I'm saying. Let's take into consideration what I talked about earlier, cancel culture. What did someone dig up about Dr. Disrespect that nobody knew about? Yeah. Was he also, look at the guy, the Evo guy. Somebody came forward about him. I can't imagine Dr. Disrespect doing something like that, but that's how it always works, right? It's always the people I could never do something like that, and then they end up doing something like that. Right?
And you know what? And you can even tie it in. You can even tie it into Joey, over on Evo. Hey, it could just be a matter of Twitch saying, you know what, we can't have that here. Yeah. I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying maybe Twitch says, you know what, we need to run a fine-tooth comb through all of our guys here and make sure there is nothing that's going to make Twitch, look bad. And maybe they got something. I don't know.
But the weird part is if they have something like that on him, why would his wife tweet out, I have my husband's back. I fully support him through all this. I highly doubt his wife would be supportive of the fact that her husband's a predator. I don't think that,
Yeah. Who knows? You know what? But you know what? It could just be a matter of, it's allegations. I doubt he did it. It's just some guy looking for cash or whatever. We just or woman. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. That's what makes it crazy.
I'll tell you this. Somebody knows.
Somebody knows.
Yeah. And what I'm really surprised by is that no one has came out and leaked it yet. Usually there's always a journalist out there who leaks it. This must be some really heavy shit if no one's coming out and talking about it. There's also been a rumor that him getting banned from Twitch is also going to cause him to have to they're going to take him to court and he's going to have to sign a no compete clause. Now he can't go anywhere after this is over.
But you know what? Look at
career is
man.
Over.
That's what I'm thinking here. Think about this. All right, just look at it from this standpoint. Mm-hmm. If Twitch wants to, let's just say, lack of a better understanding of what's going on, if Twitch wants to get their money back, then they would go ahead and say, you know what, we did what we did. We got our $25 million back, whatever, and that's that. It's over. You can go do whatever you want, wherever you want. But that's not what's going on here now.
No, man, this is
more along the lines of it's deep. It's not only, again, where I'm just speculating here. Not only are they trying to get their money back, but they're effectively killing this guy's career right now. Boom, you can't compete. Can't do this. Can't do that. You know?
And not only that,
it's something there, man. Something there.
The other weird part is, and they've never done this with anybody else that has ever been banned on Twitch. They have refunded all 30,000 plus of his subscribers.
I'm telling you, man.
They refunded.
You know what?
Everybody who's subscribed to Dr. Disrespect. So not only is he banned off Twitch, but he lost potentially a big chunk of money too. Current money.
Let's put it this way, man. What's the possibility here? Knowing what we know, discussing what we just discussed, that possibly he's been caught cheating. That now he can't compete because he's been caught cheating.
It could be. I don't know. Well, I'll say the other rumor. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's go.
This is a good one. This is kind of a weird one. So rumor has it that Shroud, Ninja, and Dr. Disrespect were all going to come together and make their own streaming service to compete with Twitch. Once they found out about Mixer. And that's why Ninja hasn't said where he's going to go yet. I don't know if Shroud has came back to Twitch yet or not, but there's a big rumor. And then on top of that, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Apparently Spotify is going to start their own gaming streaming service called Spotify Gaming. And actually, that would be a huge deal because look at all the licensed music they have the rights to.
Yeah.
And because that's been the big problem with like YouTube and Twitch. Twitch started doing DMCA stuff now, like YouTube, where if you get caught using licensed music, they'll strike you for it on Twitch. They didn't used to do that. They would just mute your video. And the funny part was a lot of people initially thought that when the Dot got banned, that it was a DMCA thing. Like he got, all the music he plays in his streams, and he just got banned. Well, if that was the case, they probably would have said that by now because it's already been over a week that he's been banned.
Yeah.
And nobody still knows. That's why this is so – we're in like some really uncharted territories here, Victor, because this is just so odd. But –
there's an investigation going on. That's what I think. There's an investigation going on.
But, man, if Spotify gets into the game, dude, and you can be a streamer and play video games and basically play whatever music you want to, that would be –
yeah, that'll be big.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That'll be big. That'll be huge because, people have music in their videos. That's just what they do, and they're very careful with what they put up because they don't want to get those strikes.
Yeah.
Having Spotify's library available to your stream, dude, come on. Who wouldn't want to jump on that?
Oh, yeah. I would. I would love to do that. That'd be great. If I didn't have to worry about – I mean, imagine all the YouTubers that would probably want to do that too.
That's right. I think they would jump on there right away.
Because they're getting so they're having to face so much stuff on YouTube. So
yeah, because you know what? They have all those copyrights that they can't use this, can't say that, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I
think having it and Spotify would reduce some of those restrictions, absolutely. I think it's a good move if it happens. If it happens, good move, and I think I'll see a lot of people going down over to Spotify.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, that is
rumors, speculations.
That is, yeah, man. That's this was we had a lot of controversies in this episode, and if you're listening to us on YouTube, want to thank everybody for watching us on YouTube, for listening to us on Spotify. Speaking of Spotify, thanks for listening to us on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Music, and of course SoundCloud. Thank you, all of you, for listening to this episode of the Dragoncast. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment below, how you feel about Dr. Disrespect and some of the other things talked about here on this channel. And some exciting news. This is, once again, we're in like speculation territory. We're probably going to be doing a live version of this show during the virtual PopCon, which is if you're listening, it's Monday. So this coming weekend, we might be doing a live show, and you'll get to see Victor and I. You get to hang out with us. You get to ask us questions, and we'll talk about whatever topics, as long as they're sensible, of course. Having to do with entertainment, technology, and pop culture. We'll put it that way. And you can hang out with Victor and I, and maybe we'll have a guest on next week. Hopefully, that'd be cool. If we have a guest on next week, I'm going to figure that out. And I'm excited about Virtual PopCon. That's going to be my first ever virtual convention.
Right?
It's going to be so. Yeah. It's going to be so neat to see that and interact.
Yeah, it'll be my first too, so it'll be pretty wild.
Man. So we'll get on there. We'll take your questions. We'll talk about some topics. You can interact with us, and so look forward to that. If you haven't already, you can go to popcon.us to get a badge for Virtual PopCon. I believe they are charging for badges. I'm not sure if they are. I think they are, but they're really cheap. They're like $7 for the whole weekend. It's really, really cheap. It's a sweet deal. So get on that, and hopefully we'll see you guys this Saturday or Sunday on the show. I'll update the Twitter and let everybody know.
Twitter, yeah.
You can go on there at _ the Dragoncast on Twitter. We always post all the new episodes up there as well. But until next time, guys, you guys have a great rest of your week. And until next time, I'll see you guys.
Later.